Hello, the internet, and welcome to Monday's edition of the Breakfast Club. I'm Got That Funk. I want to thank you all for joining me. And I want to say a special thank you to my friend Jim, NoPlum99, who guest hosted on the Breakfast Club in place of Josh this recent Saturday. And I would also like to welcome all the viewers that Jim invited to come and check out the Breakfast Club. We've got a few new subscribers now, so welcome aboard. We're glad to have you here, and we hope that you like what you see. And whether you like what you see or not, whether you agree with our opinions or not, we would very much like to hear from you in the comment section of our videos, because the Breakfast Club is here to initiate and participate in dialogue. And this is not meant to be an echo chamber, and we appreciate having our views examined. And if you think I'm wrong about something, I would prefer it if you told me rather than just went, this guy's an idiot, and click the video off. Also, if you like what you see here in the Breakfast Club, do us a favor and tell other people about us, or if that's too much trouble, just hit the like button at the end of the video. That'd be great. For my video today, I'd like to talk about the Bernie or Bust movement as it relates to my friend Joe, aka Serious Mind on YouTube. Now, Joe guest hosted for me on the Breakfast Club a few Mondays ago, and he talked about the importance of realpolitik, which is my word, not Joe's, regarding the upcoming general election in November. Joe was of the opinion that if you're faced with a choice between Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton versus Ted Cruz, that the GOP half of that equation is so loathsome and ominously daunting that you must support Hillary because otherwise the evil guy might get in. Now, in the past, I have advocated for people to vote for the lesser of two evils if that's the choice. And there was a time, sort of 4 or 5 months ago, where I was thinking to myself about the Bernie or Bust movement. These people are idiots. There's too much at stake. If Trump gets in, he's a total fascist, and you never know what he may or may not do if he got the keys to the White House. And Ted Cruz is in many ways even more scary than Trump, because Ted Cruz actually has a preconceived agenda that we're not necessarily completely aware of, whereas Trump at least puts all of his cards on the table and tells you what his agenda is. And from my point of view, the difference between Trump and Cruz, in a sense, a difference between Trump and Cruz, I should say, is that whereas Cruz is a political maneuverer, he has some contacts, and he has some chance of getting his programs, his agenda through Congress, whereas Trump is going to meet with an incredibly hostile Congress, no matter what the Democratic and Republican makeup of the Congress is. Trump will have a hard time as president, and I hope very much that the constitutional restraints on the presidency will be enough to keep Trump in check, rather than have him run away and govern by fiat, as it were, and basically ignore the Constitution and potentially become an American dictator. As difficult it is to wrap my head around that concept, it's possible. Anything's possible in politics. And Trump really did scare me for a long time, and he still does scare me, don't get me wrong. I think a Trump presidency would be a disaster. However, I have given long and careful consideration to the concept of the Bernie or Bust movement, whereas, if you can't get the candidate you want, don't vote for anybody at all, or vote for a third-party candidate who is more agreeable than the two evil candidates for the main parties. Now, you may or may not think Hillary Clinton is a bad choice. Personally, I just can't bring myself to support Hillary Clinton. Now, earlier today, in preparation for this video, I watched a video on Secular Talk where Kyle was talking to the members of the TYT cast about the Bernie or Bust movement and the problems faced by people who are sort of making this decision. And Cenk on the Young Turks made an argument that I think is fundamentally flawed. He said, there's a difference between voting someone and supporting them. I abjectly, vehemently disagree with that notion. A vote is a show of support. That is actually what a vote is. So if you vote for someone, yes, you have supported them. You've supported the person, you've supported their platform, you've enabled them to be in a position where they might be able to carry out that platform. So yes, you have supported them. It's no good saying, I'll give you my vote, but I won't be supportive when you're in office. That kind of thinking is exactly what's got us into the mess we're in at the moment. One of the problems with the way the democratic system is set up in America and how it's been operating for the past sort of 30 or more years is that very often the electorate, for president anyway, is confronted with a choice between either Tweedledee and Tweedledum, where you can't really distinguish too much between the candidates in the first place, or you don't think you can, although I take Joe's point that there are definite differences between the GOP platform and the Democratic platform. There are definite distinct differences, and I think you can objectively say that one is better than the other, that being the Democratic platform. But being the lesser of two evils is still evil. That's a cliche now, I get that. But it happens to be true. And the thing is, we are driving ourselves headlong into a cul-de-sac because we've created a political climate, a political situation where you do not any longer have to appeal to the electorate to win an election. All you have to do is be less unappealing than your opponent. You need something positive to vote for. For a vote to be a meaningful choice, you have to be choosing between two credible alternatives that you might want to support. Or you might want to lend your support to one alternative over the other if both have, some sort of redeeming factors. But when the redeeming factors can only be counted on a couple of fingers for either candidate, but you have a third-party candidate or a candidate who's no longer running, who basically comprises more of your political beliefs, and I'd say go ahead and vote for that person. Vote your conscience. I would advocate always voting your conscience, whether or not the candidate that you vote for has a realistic chance of winning. Defensive voting, voting to keep the worst guy out, isn't making a meaningful choice. More to the point, as I said a moment ago, we're basically creating a climate where they don't even have to appeal to us anymore. They don't even have to address the needs and wishes of the electorate. All they have to do is be less obnoxious than the other opponent. That's it. And that is not setting the bar high enough for our politicians, for our representatives in politics. Now, I already voted for Bernie Sanders in the primary election, and when it comes to the general election, I have been wrestling with whether or not I can justifiably give Hillary Clinton my support. And the answer I have come to realize is I just can't do it. There's too many things about Hillary Clinton which I just can't support her in good conscience. And if I can't support her in good conscience, I can't support her. I just can't. So the Bernie or Bust movement has a lot of sympathy for me. Now, I'm in a luxurious position as regards that because I'm a foreign voter. I voted from abroad, and my constituency is California. And except for when Ronald Reagan was running for the presidency, I think California usually tends to go blue in most general elections. So my vote won't be missed one way or the other in California. But if I do vote, I'm thinking very seriously about writing Bernie Sanders in as a protest. And I understand all the arguments Joe was making in his video a few weeks ago about the futility of that and about how Joe feels it's an irresponsible thing to do. And Joe's a dear friend of mine, so he will understand when I say I respectfully disagree. I think that we are contributing to the problem that we find ourselves in if we keep on supporting a system which rewards people for not being good enough. This can't go on. But if Donald Trump is the running opponent against Hillary Clinton, I think I would personally advocate not just to vote for a third party. I think I would personally, and I know that I'm going to catch shit for this from Joe especially, but I would advocate for boycotting the election en masse. I would advocate for a national movement to boycott the election, because what if the turnout was below 20%? What if the person who won, either Hillary or Trump, won with a turnout of less than 20%. Technically, they would have a mandate to govern and they would assume the office of the presidency. That's beyond question. However, I don't think that president could claim any kind of democratic legitimacy if the turnout was so damned low. I've gone on way too long for a Breakfast Club video. I am sorry about that. Normally we try to keep the videos less than 10 minutes long, but I felt this topic was important and I wanted to sort of flesh out my thinking. I want to thank everybody for watching this video. I look forward to any video responses that you guys come up with, or comments in the comment section will be equally welcome. JJ Talks is our Tuesday host on the Breakfast Club, and we don't know whether she'll be talking about this subject or another subject, but I look forward to seeing what she brings to the table anyway. Thank you for watching this video, and until next time, may the funk be with you, always.